it can go. Nuke will be the map where we find ourselves on. Big going to be starting on the CT side. We see a smoke being purchased here early on by Crimbo. He's going to be utility guy for his teammates. No kits being purchased though. He's going to go for the dualies. For the Imperial side, we of course have a ton of utility. A lot of utility being purchased. In fact, FNX and Fur, the only two players with Kevlar, and it's going to be a fast hit coming in towards the upper bomb side. Sirson, though, snipes away FNX.
Yeah, deals with one of the oncoming Ts. Does thin out the herd a little bit. It won't be denying the bomb plant, though. That still goes down. And our Fallen and the rest of the Brazilian boys will have to try and hold on for dear life. They're getting flanked from Faven. Fur's actually making inroads into the ramp side. Going to try and play the long con, perhaps, and sneak around Heaven. There are 3 players up there right now, but he needs Faven to be dealt with quickly. Vinny, big headshot onto Tabson, who himself is very good in pistol rounds, but the rest of the CTs are now coming to the forefront. And now Fur, from above, is going to have to strike multiple times, wants to try and bypass these players, but they were defusing in amongst the smoke. And in a full 10-second defuse, Big get the first round.
That was a nice try coming in there, the lure from Fur, but his teammates needed to at least get a couple more kills. That defense just getting completely shredded, the postman rather, for Imperial by Big. Of course, helped out by the fact that Sirson gets the opening pick onto FNX coming in through the smoke towards the upper bombs. And Imperial, at least they get the bomb planted though. You can see over here, FNX able to find a kill before the smoke blooms. Faven with the lurk as well, you know, the flank coming in from behind, able to get 2 kills. That's kind of nuts. So Big, despite allowing Imperial to get the bomb down, they will win the round pretty convincingly, just losing 1 player in the process. The double nades getting lobbed in, won't deal too much of damage. Not the full spy coming up Imperial though, which is a bit of a surprise, right? We have the scout in the hands of Fallen, the rest of them deagles abound, and Fallen will take away Sirson. Sirson, known as the Scout God, will be felled by his own weapon.
By the Brazilian professor. Surgical removement of his adversaries. And now, Imperial doing a bit more damage. Tizian is low. Tabson also drops low. Although in the process, he does deal the fatal damage to Fall. And FNX through the smoke finishes off a weakened Tizian. And the Brazilians now have a player advantage. And with Faven and Tabson both is so exceptionally low, this force buy could actually be about to dethrone Big before they really get themselves any kind of head of steam.
It's not even a force buy, right? It's just the upgraded pistols. There's no armor behind it. It's just the 4 deagles and the scout. And I just said it, Vince. Tabson, Faven, I don't even know how he's walking around at 5 points of health. Crimbo is going to come and clutch here. He's got a FAMAS to work with. Tabson right now towards the Heavens position with an A1 looking to make initial contact. He's got Crimbo on top of the rafters. As Imperial, though they have the man advantage, Vince, the heavy advantage health-wise as well. Time is not really their friend. And Faven, especially against unarmored opponents, could completely ruin their day. They're going back upper. Crimbo caught in a very uncomfortable position here. He's going to find Vinny, but he's trapped in the corner. And Fur with the MP9, Crimbo somehow stays alive. A 3rd kill for Crimbo. He's doing it all by his lonesome, and Faven comes in and saves his teammate. What a hole from Crimbo.
Oh my... How? He traded up the FAMAS to the Galil, the M4, pardon me, which was great, obviously, so he didn't have to spend time reloading. But he has a player sideswiping with an SMG, spraying him down. He has no HP, and he takes the head clean off. That is a round that Big looked dead to rights in. I can only assume most of that damage that was done to Faven and Tabson was unconfirmed through smokes. Otherwise, surely they just stampede into a site and make sure they get the counteractive kills. Because playing that slow against 2 weakened players and 1 full HP player seems like lunacy to me.
He plays this so well though, right? The preemptive nade as well. He clotheslines Fur. Fur just comes around the corner with the SMG. He knows how low Crimbo is, but not quite able to finish off the job. Still, for Imperial, they don't get the bomb down, but they do inflict quite a bit of economic damage to the CT side. You can see Tizian on 3K, Sirson on 4,400, and this is before they've gone for the buy. So a little bit of damage being dealt here, of course, for the side of Imperial. They will have the buy. Bear in mind, they got the bomb down in the pistol round and went for just the light upgrade in round number 2. So still, very, very early days, as we do have a bit of a technical issue right now. And over on the A stream, G2 and Na'Vi, I think a lot of people call it the game of the day, and I wouldn't really doubt that. You know, G2 going up against Na'Vi. It is, of course, on Mirage as well. And it was, I do believe, 3-3. Checking the scoreline right now, it is 6-5 in favor of G2. A very, very close affair there over on the A stream. But of course, if you're a Brazilian fan, and there are quite a few of them, Vince, your eyes are glued on your screen on this very game here.
I just heard a scream coming from our A stream there as well, so I assume something big just happened in that matchup. I heard Connor and Mohan both lose their marbles. That's not the first thing that came to my head, but I got a sense of myself, you know. So I'm sure that game is delivering right now. Sounds like an epic. Unfortunately, we are dealing with a couple of tech issues right now, so fingers crossed we'll be ready to ascend into this game as we are. They appear to have been fixed. So Big will be regaining a bit of momentum as they come into this round, 2-0 in the lead. But Imperial, as Blair just touched on before, will have full AK-47s purchased up and a healthy amount of grenades on top of it. Mollies if they want to go for an A play, smokes if they want to go for the outside wall. Big in the meanwhile, though, because of their casualties in the previous round here, Blair, I mean, they're hanging on by a thread. But if they were to lose this, they're in trouble.
Absolutely. Sursen, not quite able to purchase the AWP, but as we called him earlier, probably one of the greatest, if not the best, scout player right now in the highest tiers of Counter-Strike. He's going to take a warning shot and taps in. All right, he's going to wait for contact to be made by Sursen. The flash is going to pop, though, and he's going to pop with it. Doesn't see anyone yet. Sees the player way in the back. Should be wary of Fur nearby. Fur looking to trade. He's dealt a lot of damage here onto one of the members, which is Bolts, and he's doing a fantastic job somehow staying alive. In fact, he pulls off the great escape. And now Imperial have to be wary of how close Tapson could be. Although, it slowly fades back. Fur is going to be poking outside, looking to find him. But Big have evacuated the premises. They're going to reposition themselves. You can see Sursen already all the way towards ramp right now with Crimbo as they look to reaggress again. This time they're pushing in towards trophy room. They have so much information, Vince.
I love this. I love this so much. The smokes that were used outside basically were just sell by date. They expired because of Tapson's aggression. You called it yourself. They weren't sure. Is he tight left? Is he behind red? We have to check all these angles. And now they're looking to try and push onto the A side. But there are multiple defenders here. Favin's one of them. He sprays down for 2. A lot of damage as well onto the third player, which has fallen. Bolt's also low from the previous encounters in this round. With 25 seconds to play with, Fallen feels compelled to drop down and try and hit B instead. But how many of his team, if any, will be standing there to help him out? And Searson has him on the cross, missing a couple of shots, but can at least keep him locked down on the silos. Molly in. Fallen is he's just full of lead. He can't get out of this one. And Searson, putting him down, has put Bolts into an untenable position. This bomb is going to get defused. And I think Bolts is probably just going to be happy to save the AK.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Like, he's so very low in health. It was supposed to be the contingency over here, the contingency plan over there, but unfortunately, bomb getting planted towards lower. And he called it, right? Fallen, they were so uncomfortable with the upper hit. They knew there were a couple more players over there, so we do have a tactical timeout. I do believe getting called here by Big early. You can see the admins pointing to Tapson to call for the tac timeout. There we go. Still, the lead for Big. So far, they have looked solid. And again, right, like that early pressure. Oh, Gobby. Welcome back, Legend. Welcome back to the game.
It's great to see him.
Yeah, he was unofficially back in the team, actually calling, you know, kind of helping them out, kind of like the co-coach, so to speak, when they had NKJ and RMR, and could see the immediate impact Gobby had for them. They went on an incredible streak, and now he's back where he belongs. He's back in CSGO, and he is showing why he is one of the legends of this game. And you can see him already calling the timeout. Despite the fact that leading 3-0, he is the one who is kind of the driving force, the big brains. And not to say Tapson's incapable. He's very capable as well. Here we go, though. 3-0 the scoreline. And for the side of Imperial, at least they got the bomb down, so that's going to allow them to eke out a decent buy. They still have the saved AK-47 in the hands of Bolts. Let's see what they can do with this. A barrage of nades getting lobbed in towards outside and fallen down to 17 HP. His buy is loathsome, though, and he will be found by Sursen, but that's a great wraparound from heaven, as Sursen will fall. The trades are back and forth fast and furious, but it looks like it is going to be favoring Big. Vinny left alone, and not for long. A quick shutdown by Big.
Was effectively an eco bash though, so Imperial will be back in with AK-47s and tons of utility on top of it. Only 2 casualties on the side of Big, And they have enough surplus cash to replenish those guns themselves. 4-0 lead, and one of the reasons, if you are fairly new to Counter-Strike, I imagine we've got a lot of newer viewers here taking part in the major. If so, then welcome. Enjoy your stay. The reason why Blair is talking about God B being this legendary figure is obviously he used to play for Big and has been a part of Counter-Strike for many, many, many years. So it's great to have him back in the org as the coach. Has played at previous majors, of course. Has played alongside the likes of Tabson for many years as well. But it's Faven that takes a ton of damage to kick off the round. Dropped to 35. Although they are going to exchange a little bit in return. Vinny and Squeaky is knocked down to 63. But he's holding his position. He's not going to be pulling away just yet. Peeks back in and gets the drop on Tabson. And there is no counteractive kill forthcoming. If Faven goes in for a peek here, he may get caught out on low HP. And that 2-kill deficit could be everything. But Tizian equals the odds.
Got to bear in mind, Sirsen towards Secret, but he's playing way below Secret. Meanwhile, remaining members of Imperial grouping up together, clearing out Garage. Looking to go for the wraparound here. Now, you got to bear in mind, they still have FNX towards Lobby. So enough avenues available for them, and because that Crimbo aware that they have lost control of outside, this could be the wraparound, but it's going to be expecting 3 players, Vince. That is quite unorthodox.
Has his back turned, but Fallen isn't pushing just yet. Now, they are hearing the grenades coming out, but I think Crimbo was baited out from the player above him, and so Fallen will strike instead, and this puts so much pressure on the A site, but Imperial intelligently navigate their way down to the B site instead.
Tizian, can he find FNX? That's the barrel. That's a huge kill to find. Now a 3v3. Lower bomb site control has been lost, but no, they're going to be coming up upstairs. Faven lies in wait. He sees the Molotov. He's going to go for the spray. Finds 2. Fallen left alone, but now he's alone in a 1v2 and 10 seconds on the clock.
Professor's going to have to teach a couple of lessons once again if he wants to clutch this one out with the AK. Round the corner, he will move. Knows he has to take some risks. Flash is good, but the spray is on point. And now Fallen in such a good position. Searson with the AWP has no room for error. He cannot afford to miss. And that bomb is ticking away, but unfortunately for Fallen, the bomb's not planted for him as he comes through with the AK, goes for the spray, thinks it's the fake, and he's forced Searson off the bomb for the time being. Searson, though, still connects, still puts him down, picks up the kit, and has enough time for the clutch. Exquisitely done by the big AWPer, but Fallen was so close.
He almost played that to perfection, but Searson so fortunate to have the smoke, and even the composure to get off the bomb, not panic, scoped into slowly, calmly walks across the other side of the silo and clutches it out for his team. And by the way, this was Imperial in full control, but instead of heading to the lower bomb site, they head on upstairs, up the rafters, up heaven, and Faven with 2 huge kills. And in the end, coming down to Fallen to try and deliver. Unfortunately, deliver he does not. However, max loss bonus is already kicked in around prior. They again get the bomb down, allowing Fallen to wield his own Zoom banger, the AWP, in the hands of the Professor. Searson, though, a bit of a quite a start for him, but he's starting to look deadly here. AWP in hand. And this time around, big op not to try and exert any pressure towards outside Imperial. 4 players grouped up, ready and waiting. We have Vinny, in the meantime, waiting for his lobby. Great flashbang there, but Tabson will be found by FNX. And again, early opening pick getting found by the Brazilians. How did they capitalize on this is a question. This is nice, though. The aggression towards lobby, towards Squeaky. They're finding so much of information, Vince. And this position from Searson. He's listening to all these steps and sounds being made on the ladder. And that's going to allow Crimbo to try and group up with his teammates. They're going for a cheeky boost. Oh, this is ratty. I love this from Faven.
Oh, this is all propagated by Searson's position and the noise he's heard. The spray through the smoke won't be forthcoming for any kills. But time is ticking away. 35 seconds, even with a player advantage. They have to come downstairs and Crimbo has the off angle. Does anyone check this? Do they line up? Crimbo so nearly had 2. 1 might not be good enough. Nothing forthcoming, minimal damage to Vinny, and that's about it. So this early exchange of grenades ends in a bit of a stalemate.
Crimbo making his presence known, pushing up a little aggressively. But he will peel back, playing a much more passive angle towards the bottom of ramp. And they have actually sent Sirsen over towards ramp as well, right? He's got the AWP in hand. The question is Crimbo relinquish control of ramp? No, they're going to be grouping up together here. This is interesting. Slowly creeping on up. There is a player nearby. It's all about the timing, Vince, and FNX will fall. That's ramp control completely taken over by Big. That's going to force Imperial to funnel their way into its upper bomb side, but a well-timed smoke again, keeping them at bay. Now the 2-3 players on that upper bomb site. Second smoke getting deployed as well. They're just delaying this play from Imperial, but eventually they will have no more utility remaining. Certainly it's got Incendiary, but it's far, far away from the upper bomb site. So Imperial, they have to brute force their way in, and indeed it is going to be the ramp position where they're going to try and make a statement here. They have got ramp control. Still, 23 seconds. They need to make some haste now.
Yeah, that molly also gives away that they have to push B because of how little time they have. So Crimbo, again in an off angle, again is going to have impact, but can't get two. However, Tabson's already down at the site, and the bomb's been spilled down. There's Tabson for another one. And Fur can only sit in sequence. Where to go next? What's a little bit concerning for me, though, Blair, is that we haven't seen the bigger prospects on Imperial really show what they can do. Fur hasn't really had that many moments. Fallen's actually top fragging for them, and he's not necessarily the player you're looking at to have the biggest amount of impact on this team. Vinny's not really shown us what he's capable of doing. And meanwhile, on the other side of things, Favin's fragging out, Searson's had big moments, Crimbo's been in so many good off angles.
Yeah, and it's mainly because of how proactive Big have been on the CD side thus far, right? They're just moving around. It's not just a static hold. Imperial not quite able to get the perfect read as to what they might be up to. We saw the early outside aggression earlier on. Now, right here, we saw them have early ramp control by Crimbo, fall back, then re-aggress with the AWP. And the utility, the constant utility being deployed towards Squeaky and towards HUD. Imperial, they didn't really have any room to work with, especially when you have no outside control. It's like, where do we go right now? 30 seconds on the clock. They needed to just toss a coin and hope they win their duels. Unfortunately, if you don't win your duels, it's not going to quite pan out. Fancy movement for Sirsen on top of the CT blue. Able to spot a couple of players, but not quite able to land a killing blow. He's still going to be aggressive. He's still going to find one. FNX will fall, but at least for Imperial, they haven't at least sent a couple of players down to its secret. So at least that is some map control they've got, but at the cost of losing FNX.
Yes, and quite a bit of utility as well. They only have one smoke left between the four players. First down to 49 HP. And they still need to cross, and that's the freebie of a kill. Like, Searson's not missing that. A player of his stature, of his magnitude, will gobble those kills all day, every day, and punish you for them. And just like that, Imperial, they look lost at sea. They're drifting in this strange no man's land where they don't really have any control over the map. They don't have the manpower. They don't have utility. They have pretty much nothing going in their favor except for the fact they have control of the bomb. And even that's going to be probably not good enough, considering Crimbo's position.
If Crimbo gets taken down here, I can see a way Imperial can come back. But the moment they open the squeaky doors, the moment they break open the control window, the rotation is going to be taking place. You can see already Favin wrapping around from T-spawn. They know there's no one outside. They know it's not going to be an upper hit coming in. And the call has been made. 27 seconds. They have to break the window. Crimbo, though, focused inside the decon, and he's going to come out on top. Now, it's all on Bolts. He knows where Crimbo is, but 20 seconds on the clock, the rotation coming in. It's looking almost impossible here. Bolts, yeah, I think it's just going to try and save his AK-47 at this point.
Has to make sure he doesn't die after time, though. That could be a serious pain in the neck if that were to happen.
Just a fashion in which Big are mixing and matching how they're approaching this CD side. It's so hard for Imperial to get a read on it, right? Like you saw Searson's position there. That got a little scary for Bolts, but he will hold on to the AK-47 fence. And as you said, they will at least have money for the buy. Just like Searson's position there, like there's something he hasn't done yet thus far on the CD side. And you have to feel for FNX. There's no way he's expecting him to continue to fight there. And Big starting to look better and better as the rounds progress. 7-1 now for the German side against the Brazilians. Looking for more. Sirsen once again going to be posted towards outside. Tabson just lobbing a nade. The buy is going to be coming in for Imperial, but it's not the best defense. You see the Tech 9 for Fallen. You have a Galil for Fur. Vinny with the Mac 10. And flames and bullets forcing Vinny back from the position. He hasn't seen a single soul. He's already down to 12 HP.
That's been the case of a lot of these rounds, really, on Imperial. And also the 7-1, I can just imagine the memes in Twitch chat right now.
Oh, no.
And
Why have you said that?
And it's against Germany. Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed.
Oh, no, indeed.
But let's see if Imperial can have a better result. And if they are, they need to turn the tides right now. I think we're getting to the point where, yes, it's the CT side. Yes, Big don't exactly have the greatest economy in some of these players, but you are going to run out of time if this continues on this trend. So I'd like to see Imperial have some impact. Sure, this round's not great in terms of their purchase, but at least take some players down, whittle away the economy, make Big sweat this one out a little bit, because honestly, these last few rounds have been pretty straightforward. They've just been getting picks, backing off, dictating the pace of the rounds. Imperial are clumped up. They don't have a great deal to play with. Again, they have no smokes, and Searson with 2 kills on ramp locks down this part of the map and forces the rest of Imperial to push outside.
Tapson spotting a couple of players there. Smartly does not re-engage. But Bolt's finding Tapson. That's at least something now to work with. Are they going to be wrapping back towards upper? It looks like it is. FNX needs another one, though, but he gets taken down. Searson, he continues his reign of terror. Bolt's left alone. Again, no time. He's got the AK, he's got the bomb, but he's got no time. His teammates have fallen all around him. It almost seems like a replay of the previous round. And Big, they're just slowly but surely chipping away at Imperial. And Imperial, I won't lie. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, dear. $2,000.
Oh, dear. Indeed. Big are having a very comfortable time right now. Like, that squeaky position. And you can see Imperial are so wary of popping out from squeaky right now. They're just trying to get some control towards outside. But even outside, just the way the Big are being set up, they're getting picked apart. And even if they do manage to get that secret control, they seem to always lose 1 or 2 bodies on the way. The rampants haven't really been working out either. I think Crimbo hasn't really been challenged. In fact, he's been the one challenging them towards Trophy Room. Here we go. Smokes off the spawn for the cross. We have Fur. He's going to be the one slowly creeping up. There's just the one player there that's all on Fur as Tapson catches Vinny. Once again, Squeaky has just been a place where the Brazilian bodies have just been littering the floor the past few rounds. FNX at least able to find Tapson, so that's something to work with here.
Yeah, but only 2 Molotovs left here, though, Blair, with over 1:25 left. You got 2 mollies, no flashes, no smokes. You still need to push out. That grenade could do a lot of damage. But Crimbo has to be careful. Molly down as well, anticipating this push. Intelligently and wisely just backs off, and Faven does the rest. Sprays them down as they try and cross ramp. And it's more of the same. Imperial just seem to lack that zest, lack that punch. This is starting to look really grim. And that's off the back of a tactical timeout. You've called your second tactical timeout to try and figure out where to go right next. You get battered by Tapson and Squeaky. As you said, this deja vu, it's happened so often at this stage. You try and push ramp, you get mollied, flashed, and then Faven just kills 2 of you in the back.
Yeah, it's just the rotations from Big that always seem to have just a read as to what Imperial might be up to, right? Like even whichever part of the map they go to, there are 2 players lying in wait. When they try to go for the outside fast play, there's 2 guys there, Citizens waiting. And now, finally, just with the half buy, they're going to try and pounce on this upper bomb side. This is much better, though, but Faven is still going to hold down the line. 2 kills. There's still another player lying in wait. It's going to be Tizian. He's just going to come out of the hut looking for more. Fallen left alone. Just the one casualty for the side of Big. They are spiraling out of control. They are on fire. And Imperial, they are getting burnt alive. 10-1.
We're moving into round 12, and what is it? 21 kills Imperial have. So they're averaging, what, like 2 kills a round, if that?
Faven's in 15.
Yeah, exactly. If this was a boxing match, I think the towel would have been thrown in a couple of rounds ago.
It's not the Vince, it's esports, where you have to battle it out to the very end. There is no
true.
Humanity here. We don't care how bad you are.
If they die, they die.
If they die, they die, as Ivan Drago famously said. I don't know how many people are going to get that reference.
We are boomers. Probably just us.
Listen, man, 80s movies, 80s action movies are the best.
True.
All right, here we go. Right now, Big are basically channeling their Arnie from Commando and just brutalizing every single one. The buy coming in from Imperial. We have the op once again in the hands of Fallen. And Sirson buys Lonesome towards Secret. Again, Sirson just repositioning, it just being sublime, man. Just everywhere. They don't know where to expect him. Tapson's going to be playing towards the ACs. That smoke's not supposed to be there.
No.
Okay.
The woes continue. What kind of impact is that going to have on their execute, though? Oh, the bomb's out first, and it's already been put down on the ground. Settles in the dirt, and Tapson repeats for 2 more. 3 kills for Tapson, pretty much just for free. No one's looking to try and counter-frag. Imperial, they're coming apart at the seams here, Blair. The smokes are missing. They're not getting counter-frags. They have no impact across the board.
It's a killing fields right now, especially towards that outside region. Tapson, who has been kind of the quietest on his team, the IGL. Huge 3K there, just going for the wide swing outside. No one able to trade. Playing those angles perfectly, though. And now, yeah, FNX is just going to tuck in behind the truck. This run's done. There's nothing they can do. Vinny at the end of ramp. 11-1. This just might be the most lopsided game we've seen on either of the 2 streams.
This, if it continues like this might be the most lopsided game that we've seen at the entire major.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a... Okay, it's still... Imperial can still come back.
They can, but if it continues like this, I hope it doesn't. I hope that we do see a resurgence. Listen, we're just here for some good Counter-Strike, and this has been difficult to watch at times. Imperial have been getting battered and bruised. Obviously, if you're a big fan, you're loving every second of this because your boys are performing very well indeed. And there's always 2 sides to every story. Yes, Imperial haven't been on the same page. It's been disjointed. It's been a bit rough to watch. Big have been sensational, though. I mean, you've had great performances from Searson, from Faven. Everyone's had their moments. Big have been on fire twice. So they've been streaking together rounds.
And also, like, you got, look, for Big, they had one of the highest seeds coming to the Legend stage, right? Because of how flawless they were in the RMR. And because of which they're facing off against Imperial, one of the more lower seeded teams coming in from the Challenger stage. But we have seen teams kind of capitulate under the pressure. We've seen teams today already losing. We saw Furia earlier today, one of the big dark horses losing to Spirit against the underdogs. And we could, you know, it could have happened for Big as well, but no. They've come in looking like the machine they are. Sirson, a bit aggressive there, especially against the pistols, but he will be able to fall back. Playing in front of the smokes of the T's. It's starting to get feisty. Taps and tickling away to FNX through the smoke. Oh no, they're running straight into the blender, and they're getting shut down once more.
Big enjoying an Imperial milkshake right now. And Vinny is the last to fall, just the 1 kill. I think that's the first kill they've had in 2 or 3 rounds. Most of these have been very clear-cut and convincing. The most deaths that we have on Big is Tabson on 6. And we are 13 rounds through this game, about to embark on our 14th. In terms of the buy, it is max round loss bonus on the side of Imperial. So they are going to have themselves a healthy amount of rifles, but that hasn't necessarily helped them too much in the past. Prioritizing smokes, there are 4 of them. Outside wall is being deployed right now. Searson, again, aggressively on top of Garage this time. Looking at the top of Silo. Will be coming back again. There's one. Bolt peeks in second, and he gets completely devastated the same way.
Sirson is just, he's just dominating. He's 15-3, Vince.
Yep.
Faven, 16-5, as Tizian joins the party. And one by one, Imperial, like, it has been very flat thus far. They're just walking out and just feeding the beast. And they're just farming stats right now are big. 13-1, all but a formality unless FNX pulls off something truly, truly miraculous. A 1v5, I just say it's not going to happen. It's very, very unlikely. Tapson's already on the hunt. And FNX even read that. He knew Tapson could potentially be there, but Tapson immediately puts a bullet between the eyes. Final round of the first half, and this has been just a vulgar display of just complete domination from Big.
Yeah, Searson's confidence just kind of... Yes, they have the composure, but do they have the individual mechanical ability to beat some of the better teams at this tournament? Big is one of the better teams, and so far, our answer, to be completely blunt, has been a resounding no.
Yeah, they're just getting completely outclassed individually and tactically as well right now. And even Fur, who's been fantastic for them, hold on, Vinny finding a great timing on there. The taps and caught equipping his rifle. A multitude of nades being lobbed in as Fav and Blinded still gets a kill. Tizian will fall in the meantime, and great flashbangs. Actually, I think there was a team flash there from Searson, and that's going to leave Searson all by his lonesome. And finally, Imperial will get yet another round. A rough buy, but they are able to capitalize off the fact that Tapson, a little bit of a slip towards Squeaky. One of the very few times where that Squeaky defense kind of fell flat for Big. 2 rounds on the T side, Vince. I hate to be a naysayer. I love the Brazilian guys. The legends of the game. But this is going to require a Herculean, a gargantuan effort. And not just an effort, it's going to require everything to click in place and for Big to make a few mistakes. And to see all those stars align, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible, but it is highly improbable.
Yeah, the narrative to build here is it would be one of the best comebacks we've ever seen at a major, period, for them to pull this one off. It's not impossible, but the first step along that huge task is going to be winning this pistol round. And in terms of that endeavor, they have a bit of utility on Fallen. No kits, though, to speak of, and a whole bunch of Kevlar. Meanwhile, Big making moves outside. Inroads are being built from 4 players. Vinny, great headshot onto Tapson. That's the kind of start they'll be looking for. Build up that confidence, build up the momentum, see if you can do something with that. Vinny with another one before Crimbo comes back with his P250 and at least gives Big something to work with outside. But there are 2 more players that are positioned, Fur in secret. And additionally, they have a player out in the balcony of Heaven as Bolts gets the 3D kill onto Faven, gets traded back though, and Crimbo now going from strength to strength. You need to be careful not to overextend and overpeak here, but Crimbo's been put down, and Imperial do indeed win the pistol. One part of the checklist has been complete. There are a whole bunch more coming up though, if Imperial want to get back on the fast track.
One step at a time. And that's something you don't need to tell this team. They've been in similar, if not worse, situations in the past over their very tenured, very legendary careers individually. FNX, for Fallen. Legends in the game as we're going to have Big. Just not going to waste any time, but just going to charge out into the blender. And there we go. Very easy, very comfortable, very quick mop up for the side of Imperial. Still trailing by 9 rounds, but at least it's a start. In the meantime, on a stream A, G2 with the tiniest of leads of a Na'Vi. Ooh boy, that's happening right now. What a game that is. I have a stat for you, Vince.
Hit me.
I could be wrong here, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the numbers do pan out, Fallen has never beaten Big.
Really?
He's played them in Liquid, he's played them in MIBR in the past, and in SK Gaming. He's never beaten Big as an org.
Never beaten Big as an org. That's a very interesting start. I had no idea. When you think of how long Fallen's been around for, Big have been around for quite a long time at this point as well. Well, we'll have to see if not only can he pull off a great escape with a ridiculous comeback, but also add that to his accolades, of which there are plenty. Big now making moves outside, using that wall of smokes. Tabson taking point for his team, joined by Crimbo and Faven just behind. All 5 players looking to try and get in amongst the action. As Tabson's now sneaking his way down secret, and there's no Imperial players here. You have Vinny downstairs, but he's basically alone right now. And if Vinny loses his life, that could be all she wrote for this round. Now, they have Fur in a position where he can fast flank round the back of them, but Tizian is watching for that. All these little components building on top of each other, these building blocks. An interesting climax of the round with a boost up, yields the kill on Vinny. And that could be the gold ticket ahead as Fallen gets caught out with a smoke. Tizian misses out on his trade, but at least can call to the rest of his teammates where Fur currently resides. 2-on-4 retake. Big looking in a commanding position.
Round's done. Round's done. They have to save. You called it, Vince. You had a premonition. If the player playing towards decon falls, that's it. If Vinny dies, round's done. The timing as well. He starts getting a little antsy. He starts feeling a little uncomfortable, looking for a little bit of information. Starts walking up the stairs. Perfectly timed peek there coming out from Searson. And then they waste no time. Immediately smashing the W key, running to the lower bomb site, catching Fallen out in the middle of nowhere with a smoke in his hands. And it is Crimbo cracking open both FNX and Fallen Skull. Round's done after that. There's nothing Fur or Bolt can do. And sure, Fur is able to find Tizian, who is looking towards outside, but what can you do when the bomb is planted? It's a 4 versus 2. You have no control. The save is the call. It is the right call, but Big back to the winning ways, and they're going to call it in the tactical timeout. That is classic God B. Doesn't matter if you're winning, he's still going to call it out, and it's like, listen, this is how we're going to finish this game off.
Yeah, and also let Imperial just stew on the fact that they're 14-4 behind, and that they basically got plucked out by Searson's AWP. And all they can do is sit there and try their damnedest not to think about what could have been.
It's very quiet on the Imperial front. And on the other side is a complete 180 if you look at Big. You saw God B give his little speech, and now it's Tapson rallying the troops together to close this one out. 2 rounds remain for Big to get what will be one of the most one-sided wins we've seen thus far here. The PGL Antwerp Major 2022. Here we go. Imperial. At least able to save around the 2 weapons. They have the M4s back off in the hands of Fallen as well. And it is going to be Fur looking to make contact towards outside. Tapping away, taps and walks straight into a bullet with his name on it. And Fur is looking for more. Tizian has, however, dropped down towards Mini. And somehow, Fur hasn't seen him.
Therein lies the importance of crosshair placement and learning where to aim through the smokes, tap, 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 tap. Gives you that easy, crisp start to the round, but you've got to try and convert if you're Imperial. You cannot afford to let this one slip by. Good frag from Fur, but he is traded back on side of Faven. And in the meanwhile, Tizian's making moves up onto the Heaven side. This could be the nuts play. This could be everything for Big. If he can get up into Heaven and have a bit of impact from here, it opens up business through main, and then they can just look to explode out.
No one's watching, Vince. No one has any inkling Tizian's here.
Bolts, as far as he's concerned, he's safe.
Oh,
now Vinny's looking. Now Vinny's having a quick peek. Do they try and flash in? Do they just go ahead for the dry peeks? Do they even try and get aggressive through main to throw off this crosshair placement of Vinny? Flash out, Vinny sprays in for 1, but will be traded back. And now Bolts can spring into action, but Faven is there. Takes his head, 16 HP, 1 on 3 is available. He'll have a post plant, but he probably doesn't expect Fallen to be up in Heaven this quickly. It's not looking good for Faven, and Fallen wasn't required. FNX has him locked down. Imperial may hemorrhage the bomb plant, but at least they pick up a 5th round.
Crucial round there. Good composure from FNX, keeping him pinned down, making sure it doesn't escape into its hut, waiting patiently for his captain to come up towards Heaven. And it was such an important round there being won by Imperial. I was actually really paranoid because once they lost sight of outside, I was like, okay, you got so total inside on the bomb site. That is so disgusting from Fur. Huge round from Fur, by the way.
Yeah.
Just opening 2 picks allowed Imperial to close this one out. And Fab, despite the heroics there, not able to get much done. And now 14-5. Buy will still be coming in for Big. And for Imperial, keeping a couple of players alive. Off still in play. Vinny's going to burn Searson alive. He was just waiting for Vinny to peek, Vince. Instead, Vinny, Molotov being lobbed in. Fur dealing even more damage with the A1. And they're still looking to poke and prod. Player advantage, but they're looking for more here. It's Fur and FNX grouping up together. Fallen all the way towards ground. More aggression coming out from the Brazilians. They really want to take the fight to his Vinny. He's going to find another kill, this time with his weaponry. And 1 by 1, Big. Couple of players down already. 5v3, player advantage for MIBL. Sorry, for Imperial.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah, I mean, when you say MIBR, I just think of this lineup. Right? You're talking about Fur and FNX, but MIBR is not here, but Imperial are.
You most certainly are there. Flying that flag high in the sky, as Furia did concede earlier. Imperial may very well go the same way, but they're wanting to make a real fight out of this. This round has not been a simple one for Big whatsoever. Although Searson did get picked off first from a Molotov, he did also connect a shot onto Fur, so he's still limping around on 16 HP. 30 seconds to play with. Not sure if Big have it in their mind to pull the plug here and try and save. It's very possible. They can just back to the T-spawn, keep the AWP, keep the 2 AKs, and that seems to be what's going to happen. Hoping that Imperial maybe get too overzealous, too antsy and push out and give a couple of lives away for free. It will spell 14-6 as a score, however, and considering at what point this was, what, 13-1?
Yep.
Imperial are slowly edging their way into this game. They still have many hurdles, though, they have to navigate through, but they're at least on the right track. One round at a time, but they're getting it done so far. Also building that economy up nicely. But Big saving their 3 weapons. They can buy behind this. It's not going to be a fantastic buy by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to buy some deagles, and they're going to come straight back into this round.
One round at a time, Vince. What we discussed at the beginning of the second half, and thus far Imperial, apart from the first buy round from Big, they have held on. A couple of scrappy rounds here or there, but they've managed to clinch it. And Big now, as you pointed out, having to bring out the deagles. Still very deadly on these players. Good timing on the peak. A second early, Vince. You could maybe have found him on the pre-fire. Close shave. For Bolt is going to reposition himself, opting to play aggressively towards the hot and squeaky position. A bit of a wallbang tag on the Searson is going to force him to relocate himself as well. And Imperial are doing thus far a pretty good job not giving any information to Big, but at the same time, that means they don't really have much of a clue as to where Big is going to be making a hit towards. Bear in mind, Big have a decent bit of utility to work with. You know, a couple of smokes there, a couple of Molotovs as well. He's going to smoke off the entrance of Minnie, slowly creeping up further. He lies in wait, and you can see Vinny slowly pushing in towards mains here, trying to shut down this push.
FNX is also making moves up on the secret side. Good deagle, but this is where FNX can come up and probably shut this round down. I don't think they have any eyes looking towards this position. That should be one. And now Searson gonna get mollied out into the open. Has to try and make some plays. There's Vinny from the back, stabs him, and the bomb spills out, not for the first time in this round. That will be the round done, and I think Big look to save once again. We've had so many T-rounded saves on this nuke performance. It's been quite interesting. It's been a real game of cat and mouse, but Imperial, they have dragged their way into a 7th round. They are fighting for every inch of the map.
13-1. It's still a long ways to go, Vince. The margin of error is so very tiny. One slip up and Big are going to pounce on it and close this one out. But thus far, and maybe then try and pincer that upper bomb side, but just a good hold overall for Imperial. Now we see a bit more aggression coming out here. But Favin, he's very quick. He's very quick, and he's going to be dropping straight in and fall into TK, finding his teammate through Favin, but they're going to walk on past Fur, and Fur is going to have a very easy time finding a couple, looking for the third, and he will shut it down. This was, of course, the eco coming in from Big, trying to work around the safe deagle and the AK-47, but only again able to find one. That was Bolts.
Yeah, can't blame Fallen for that shot either. Wanted to secure the kill. Unfortunately, he got a collateral, but not the way he was hoping for. And Big are in a bit of an awkward position here. They got $3,000 on a couple of players. I think Searson was around that $6,000 mark, so probably going to buy out to equalize the economy. They have such a good lead still, a good buffer of rounds. I would be surprised if they forced, and they haven't. They've gone in for a half buy. Downside of this, though, on the side of Big, is you're allowing Imperial now the opportunity to really grind up their economy and get into very good stature. Here's the aggression that we were talking about before. Small gap in the smoke, but no one's there to exploit it on Imperial. Instead, an incendiary toss down to Secret from FNX, and that will keep them in position as they look to vent dive. FNX takes a stray bullet to the head, but he lives to tell the tale, and Fur continues to twist the knife outside. FNX and Fur have really stepped up on this CT side. Fur in particular is becoming a bit of a nightmare on the side of Big, and now Imperial, they get to enjoy the good graces of being on fire.
Remember we were talking about how the players on Imperial had a combined like 21 kills at the end of like round 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Fur only had 5. That was 18 and 14. They started to lock things down. A couple of them, it looked like, you know, little lucky perhaps, and maybe Big didn't have the full investment or whatnot. But right now, they're starting to really wake up individually as well. They're very, very quick rotations, very, very quick repositionings from the CTs the moment Big are making a presence felt. And Big are doing a lot of things towards outside primarily. Now, that is something that Big could try and exploit, right? They've done it multiple times. They've gone for this fast outside play, trying to go for the A pincer. And if they can try and, again, draw the rotation, and I've seen this time and time again, Fur towards that at the entrance of Mini. He's got Vinny there as well. Then you have FNX pushing up towards Secret. That is something you could try and exploit. Maybe go for a bit of a fast ramp play after a bit of posturing towards outside. There are a lot of avenues available, but Big haven't really tried any of these. Instead, it's been kind of a little one-dimensional, I might even say. Bolts will find Favin. Again, early kills going the way of Imperial. And now they're 1 round away from getting the double digits wins. From 13 to 1, it's been a journey thus far.
Yeah, I think double digits is typically psychologically where a lot of players on both sides of the coin start to feel it a little bit more like, hold on a second, we are right behind you. You know, and if you're the team that's been in the lead so vastly, you start to look over your shoulder a little bit. Plus, it's the nature in which these CT rounds have been going down. For the most part, they've been very, very comfortable. Tapson now going to be making moves into main, though. Oh, he's getting the drop on both players. Snaps away. I thought he'd thrown that kill out of the window, but still they deal with Vinny. Bolts from above, though, is going to strike. 3-play-3. But the HP will be favoring Imperial. However, on the T side, this is the first time in a long time where Big will feel like they have a real chance at winning this.
I really felt like they would probably pounce on the upper bomb side the moment the other two crept in towards Squeaky, but now, 40 seconds on the clock, it's going to be Tizian to lead the way. Crimbo on 9 points of health. There's one defender, but Bolt has to look and take care of so many angles. Timing is everything. He looks away the worst time possible. He knows where Tizian is. Tizian looking to hunt him down, but Bolt plays this one to absolute perfection, and it's all in Circe in 20 seconds. He should find Bolt, but 20 seconds on the clock. He's got to get the bomb down. But where is even planned, Vince? Is the player towards main, the player towards heavens? 15 seconds. He needs to punch in the numbers. Fallen's going to get a free kill onto him. What a round from Bolts. But firstly, I love what Big did that round. They went for the outside smokes, and they were so short. Imperial was so short that they were crossing behind the smoke. Instead of two players, they wrapped in close, up close to its Mini, and that's how they caught them off guard. Imperial wasn't expecting the two players to be inside a secret there. Sorry, inside a Mini there, but what a hole from Bolts. It had to come down to him. If he falls there without getting a kill, round's done. But somehow Imperial, even when they got caught with the pants kind of down, they're able to recover. And that is starting to look a little dangerous right now for Big. They've almost tried, they've tried quite a bit. They've tried to throw a multitude of plans in the direction of Imperial, but somehow Fallen and his men, they hold on. Pistols now, utility being deployed early on, but the CD smoke still keeping them at bay, but they still have a second set of utility and a number of flashbangs to pop their way through.
We're going for now, flashes out, Vent Dive comes in, but Fallen with his AWP is going to later rest two players on the ramp side. Now damage is being inflicted with some HEs. P250 will do nothing, and FNX will double up on his own side. Notches on the belt, looking good. Imperial, yet another round to put in their back pocket. It doesn't look like any players will be lost other than maybe Fallen, but FNX is there to help his IGL out. Imperial, from strength to strength. And the damning statistic for both teams is we're moving into round 26, and there's been, what, 3 T rounds won?
Yeah.
It was a 13-2 first half. Big have picked up 1 T round, and Imperial picked up 2. Everything else has been heavily CT-sided this game.
I won't lie. I thought Imperial could make it at least a little bit closer, a little bit more competitive, but right now the momentum things. Sometimes a cliche when they say it, but I want to go back, touch upon what we said earlier on. They don't necessarily have the firepower, so to speak, against some of the young guns, some of the big heavy hitters in the major stage, in the legend stage right now, but they have the veterancy. They have the experience, and one thing the players in Imperial have is they have tenacity and have showcased it to bring this one back. However, Sirison finding Fur towards outside is a big opening pick, and Fallen looking to take matters into his own hands, misses the shot, and they're now going to push him.
Oh, he's not leaving himself much room for error here either. If he misses the shot,
Again?
he's gone. But they actually back off. Fallen, his sixth sense is tingling. It tells him to continue to press forward, continue to push into position, and he could get the rewards for this. There's multiple players out here. But the thing is, there's close players as well, so once he takes the shot, he's going to get barraged down. I'm amazed that he's still surviving this, and now he has to get the hell out of there. How is he still alive? Meanwhile, though, Vinny has been bested by Tabson, and Fallen continues to survive, continues to be a pain in the ass of Big, but it may not be good enough, because Bolts is mollied out of position. He has to fall back to the site, and there's more than enough time now for Big to take their sweet time, and on the drive-by, Faven will be alleviating Bolts' life. FNX, though, using this brief reprieve to push up in the vents and nullify Searson. Fallen all around the map. Still alive, still kicking, still trying to keep his team in this matchup. And Tabson shown his hand. Fallen will be finally collected. FNX with it all to do is going to get faced by Tabson, and Big have finally put an end to the rot as they move 4 match points.
It took a while, Vince. It took a while, but Big finally cracking the puzzle. Oh, meanwhile, we're going OT between G2 and Na'Vi. Oof. Oh, boy. Also, I think we've almost hit the 900,000 concurrent viewer mark here for CSGO right now, so I'm just saying. We're still in the group stage.
Very nice. I'm sure that's only going to increase as we get through to the playoffs. But these two teams still jockeying for position in our game. Big on the brink, the precipice, after we've got to be honest, a heroic, a brave fight back from Imperial. It may just end up being too short, though. They gave themselves so little wiggle room in that first half.
It's not quite done yet, though, Vince. It's still not quite done yet. If one thing Imperial have shown, they've shown that they will not go down without a fight. But 4 more rounds needed, and it's off to a rough start, isn't it? Fur tagged down to 23 HP, was trying to use his own one-way smoke towards Secret, but he was spotted by Tabson. Rather, Tabson just read it and spammed away, down to 23 HP. Bolts on 9. Both of them just a walking wounded. At least Bolts' position on top, he might be able to avoid some of the nades, some of the utility, can stay alive, but at least he can be good for one. The smoke will be used once more towards Squeaky, keeping Big at bay, but there's a big gap.
Oh, that's gigantic. Fortunately for Vinny, though, he's not peeking out. He's not trying to look down to Secret, or Squeaky, pardon me, otherwise that would be the end of his life. There's 2 players up here. Bolts is still in position. Vinny getting flashed. No mollies will be forthcoming just yet.
25 seconds.
There is 2 left, though. But yeah, time is starting to run dry. Here's the Molotov.
Oh,
this
no.
could be the difference maker. Down, but Fallen misses the shot, and in doing so, Big take the 16-11 win. But we have to give credit to Imperial. They battled against the odds. The tenacity, the grit they showed was so outrageously powerful, but they just didn't give themselves enough room to come back into this blare. 13-2 first half was way too brutal.
Couple more rounds in the first half, Vince. I could believe this comeback taking place, and it did indeed transpire, but Big were able to eventually close it out. The depth of the strat book being shown there, some good adaptations as well. It did look like Imperial was going to run away with it, with some huge kills coming out. You pointed out as well, the Molotov, the flashback. That execute we saw from Big is something which we didn't really see coming out from the Imperial side, right? You could see their T side was kind of lacking when it comes to a more from the execute side of things. They were kind of languishing a little bit. In fact, they were a bit fortunate that they were able to get the second round and go back around with 15. It was a bit of a mistake being made by Tabson, which is getting punished. But the CD side was solid, man. Like FNX, Fur, especially towards the mini outside area, they were a thorn. Fallen as well was starting to come alive, but in the end, you said it best. They just didn't have enough rounds in that first half. Not enough room, not enough of a margin for error to work with. and unfortunately, that is what led to the undoing. But considering it was 13-1 at one point, this was a very, very respectable comeback, final scoreline for the side of Imperial and the Brazilians. And you know what? Going down, they're going to be playing some of the losers we played today throughout the first round of games. If I'm anyone facing off against them, I am not taking Imperial that lightly.
No, I certainly wouldn't, but at the same time, when you look at some of the teams that are in that 0-1 bracket, the likes of Furia, the likes of Vitality, obviously G2 and Na'Vi are going to be in that mantle as well. It's a pretty stacked amount of teams. Faven, the man of the match, had some incredible moments in that first half, in particular 90 ADR and a bunch of utility damage. On top of it, 66.67 headshot ratio as well, by the way. That's very, very high for that many kills.
Out of 21 kills, out of 21 kills, 6% is quite very, very impressive. Great showing coming out from Big, especially that first half was just an absolute masterclass of how to play the CD side of Nuke. The T side, they were pushed. They were pushed by Imperial to finally come up with some of the more big-esque rounds, so to speak. You saw the flashes coming out, you saw the Molotov, some of the executes, able to toy with the rotations of Imperial and catch them off guard. That's what they needed to do to close out this particular matchup. But in the end, it is going to be the German side to come out on top.
Indeed, it shall, as a lot of people expected, but maybe not in that kind of a way. That being said, Blair and I are done for the day, but there are still plenty more matches here on the A stream and also the B stream. After the break, Hugo and Harry are going to be guiding you through the next 4 games, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this.
I didn't know this before I came to Belgium, but apparently they're quite famous for chocolate. So of course I had to go on a mission and make sure that this was actually the case, because I'm very reporterly-ness. I don't know, am I a reporter?
You're a seeker of truth.
Thank you very much, I'm a seeker of truth. There you go, there you go. He's my manager, and if you would like to hire me to seek your truth, then give Maui a call. Now, Maui, you are known for fashion, for talking about Counter-Strike, and for a love of food, at least within the green room you are.
Wow, I didn't know I was known for fashion. I think this is a late development, but you know what? Food is something I think a lot of people have put me on a pedestal for, and you know, I can talk about food here and there.
Brilliant, because I wanted you to take part in my challenge today, which is called, Is It Belgian?
Is it Belgium? Oh, wow.
Is it Belgian?
Jesus, this is gonna be tough already.
Yes. Right. Well, I think you're gonna be able to do swimmingly in this challenge.
Okay.
And the challenge is basically, you've got to put the blindfold on.
Sure.
Because this is gonna enhance your senses. So, I've got 6 chocolates for you to try.
Okay.
And you literally have to tell me, is it Belgian?
Oh, wow. Okay, sure, yeah, I don't know. See, this is where it's tough, because I don't really know exactly what is Belgium chocolate versus what is, say, Swiss chocolate. But I'll do my best, Frankie.
You're about to learn.
I'll try my best, yeah.
So if you would like to put on the assistive central blindfold.
Oh, yeah. Very sensual. Oh, how's my hair? Did I mess it up?
Your hair is fabulous. You were the first person to wear this blindfold.
I'm the first. Awesome.
I've actually bought it to sleep in later.
That's great. I have pink eye, but so wash it first.
Okay, the first one, I'm just gonna mix up these. Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you want me to put it into your hands, or how do you wanna do this?
I think hand is good.
Yeah, okay.
It's already a little too sensual. So,
okay,
you know.
Here we go. Just gonna grace your palm with the chocolate.
Okay, all right.
I just scratched his hand with a little bit of praline, I think.
Okay. Oh, praline, okay. Well, this one's got a nice rectangular texture. I mean, I think that usually indicates that it's a fine chocolate, but let's see how it is, okay. Oh, okay. It's got a nuttiness to it. I think you might have indicated that it was praline to me, but okay, so this was a milk chocolate. It seemed like it was pretty solid quality, but I feel like it's lacking that little bit of Belgium depth, which I'm not even sure if I'm aware of what that is. It's more of a nebulous concept, but I'm going to assume it's not Belgium.
Ka-ching, you are absolutely right. This is not Belgian. It's actually a brand called JD Gross.
Oh.
Which makes me think it's German. Ready for number 2?
Yes, let's do it. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm feeling confident after what I was able to nail there.
Here we go. Now definitely give this one a fondle.
I'm gonna say that this is Belgium, because I know they like their beer. I think I gotta